Hello and welcome to the Magic Mirror podcast. I'm your host, as usual, Khan the Trinket Mage, and with me is my co-host, 33 Elk.
Hello.
Additionally, we have our other co-host, Salubrious Snail.
Hello, hello.
And we're back. This is the first podcast we're recording post MagicCon Vegas.
Technically, we did record something for a podcast, but it wasn't a full episode.
Oh, yeah. You'll see that next week, assuming everything goes well.
Assuming it doesn't.
Subscribe and stick around. I think you'll like it.
It might be the most Herculean task I've ever had to do for the podcast, so I'm excited for it.
Mine's gonna be way more difficult than yours, but we'll save that for the next episode. This episode is a little different. We're talking about what is the most flexible color in EDH. I think this is a really interesting question that is different than what is the strongest or weakest, because flexibility has so many more, let's say, applications. Is that the right word? Facets?
Yeah.
I think it's less linear than power.
You can take more different meanings of it, and it is a very useful thing, but somewhat less tangible, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, that's today's podcast episode. And if we have time, we'll get to some of your questions at the end of the episode. But before I tell you all about that, Alex, where are you going to be on 4th of July weekend?
I am going to be at Command Fest Tacoma.
Woohoo! This podcast is sponsored by Laughing Dragon, and we want to tell you about Command Fest Tacoma, which will be 4th of July weekend. They're putting on a huge event. If you went to the last Tacoma event, this one's going to be bigger. It is more Commander focused, but don't get it twisted, it is not Commander only. There's going to be tons of fun, limited, and sealed events to check out. They're going to be doing one of my favorite events, Secret Lair Sealed, and specifically, the new Marvel set will be out by then, and they will be doing a Marvel Secret Lair Sealed as well, which is where you get 2 Marvel Secret Lairs and 4 packs of the set, and then you play sealed like that, which is pretty fun. I think those events are very silly, and we'll see how chaotic that gets. There's going to be a link below to buy your tickets today. We talked about this in the previous time we were sponsored by them, but Tacoma is near Seattle. I want to express that because I feel like if I didn't live in Seattle, I wouldn't know where the hell Tacoma is. It's in Washington near Seattle.
Yeah, anybody who knows Washington a little bit will know Tacoma, but if they're, on the East Coast, they might not. But yeah, it's 20 miles south of Seattle, I think.
Yeah. I mean, you can just if you're in Seattle, you can just light rail it all the way there because they extended the light rail, so it's way easier to get there.
Cannot quite. They have not completed that full extension yet.
It doesn't go all the way to the convention center, but it's just a short lift ride afterwards. And the light rail is super cheap. It's $3 or whatever.
Yeah. You can definitely get down pretty far. You can get down to Federal Way, so it's not too bad.
Anyway, enough about geography. If you are interested in this event and maybe playing a Commander game with Alex, or maybe Elk or I, we don't know if we're going yet, but we'll let you know on the podcast. Click the link below and check it out. All right, so monocolor decks. Those aren't real, right? Nobody actually plays them.
I don't know. I have whooped your ass with Sephara a few times, haven't I?
Some people definitely do play them, but it always has felt like when people are discussing what color is the best, I think that specific phrase, a lot of times they're thinking about monocolor. They're thinking about oh, this color doesn't have enough removal in this and this type. And it's yeah, but are you one of the 5% of monocolor decks, or are you getting some extra colors? Because most decks are going to have more than one color.
Can we simplify what do we mean when we say monocolor decks aren't real here?
I'm joking.
Of course, naturally. but what's the point behind the joke here? There's
So the point behind the joke is, it's exactly what Alex said, right? When people say what's the strongest color, they do think of monocolor, but in reality, if we look at the most popular commanders, it's Dragon, that's 5 color, Edgar, that's 3 color, Atraxa, 4 color, Y'shtola, 3 color, Krenko is the odd one out at monocolor, and then it is all 3 and 2 color decks for the next 10 most popular commanders. Outside of Giada and Krenko, I don't think there is not another monocolored commander in the top 30 most popular commanders. They're all 3, 2, 4, 5 colors. It's just much less common. More often than not, you are playing a multicolor deck. And then what the strongest color is within the context of multicolor does change, because the flexibility of what that color can do as a splash color or your main color is relevant.
Yeah, for certain. The color identity is definitely very restrictive in Commander. I think there is a lot of fun to be had though in monocolor deck building.
Oh, I love building monocolor decks.
Yeah, they're awesome. In my IRA deck, I have Expedition Map to go fetch Cabal Coffers, but my IRA deck also folds to Torpor Orb really hard. So I'm I just recently added Blast Zone, so you can expedition map for Blast Zone then you level it up to 2, and then you can crack it to blow up Torpor Orb. That's the mono black method for dealing with an artifact. I definitely agree that monocolor is definitely a lot weaker. Of course, naturally it is, but I find it very exciting to build around a lot. And I think when we start talking about the podcast topic, which is like dual colors, it's like talking about this expedition map stuff. Like, how is it shoring up a weakness in a lot of different decks? And that's what I always want to kind of focus on when it comes to like deck building and like secondary color options.
Yeah. Well, we'll have that lead into my very first pick for this is I would argue the most flexible color in terms of power level is going to be green. I already think green is the strongest like mono color in Commander, but in terms of shoring up weaknesses, it gives you land ramp that the other colors just really don't have access to. And green can always do anything it wants to do in any capacity as long as it vaguely involves a creature, which means enchantment removal, artifact removal, creature removal, you get all of that stuff. It's just tied to a creature, which is not a huge restriction.
I will say, I think the ramp alone isn't always going to be super helpful as a second color. There are some decks that just don't need as much mana as others.
Sure.
However, I think green does also has artifact and enchantment destruction, which is going to be very helpful as a second color option for like a blue or a black deck. And then it also has some really big like draw options, like the ones that draw when a creature enters or that draw equal to a creature's power. So I think with that, it definitely makes a pretty strong showing for itself as a secondary color.
Yeah, like Rishkar's expertise.
If we were talking about like what the best like color in Commander is just by itself, and like you'd have like a very fine deck that shores up all of its weaknesses and stuff, I would happily accept green as an answer. Green is very versatile, even if its ceiling isn't as high as some of the other colors. Well, I guess it's changed recently with like Formidable Speaker and stuff, because like Gaia's Cradle decks are really strong. But
I mean, true. Actually, in CDH right now, green is quite good, but traditionally that has not been the case.
We've broken the mold in the last like year or so. That the green is like actually insane at like the higher levels of like power. But so I would accept green as like, oh, this is one of the best colors currently in the game. Or like, one of the most versatile and like, interesting colors as a primary color. But like, I think that like kind of excludes it from being a good supplemental color because it's a good primary color for your deck to be. For me, I think personally it's white. That's the best splash color. I think a lot of white decks still kind of struggle a little bit. Like white's gotten a lot better, don't get me wrong, in the last like half decade. But like, I think generally speaking, adding like a little splash of white to any deck makes it a lot stronger just because white has such good removal and slow down tools and protection. Like no more lightning grooves for you. You can actually run like real protection spells and stuff that are really good.
So I don't know.
Yeah, Generous Gift is like such good removal to add to any deck because it just hits anything. And then, you get like Teferi's Protection or whatever. It's like literally the best protection spell.
See, I don't even... Fuck, what was I going to say?
You hate white. You're an enemy of white.
Oh, I hate protection.
You hate protection.
I don't even know if I like protection that much, honestly. Like, I feel like I would rather just have some of what other colors have in terms of either allowing you to rebuild faster, or my favorite second color, I think, is probably red, because I think getting access to haste is very, very good. Red also has a lot of filtering options as well. Filtering and other kind of sources of draw that are not directly drawing cards, but are kind of letting you see more of your deck, whether that be looting or whether that be like exile you may play. So I kind of like red. I think that actually makes up for a lot of the lack of protection that you might have. And you still have like your protection equipments if you want them.
Yeah, I definitely think red is a close second for me in terms of like a good splash color to have access to. But God, white's so good. I disagree. I think this is like a very strong like difference of like what decks we like to play, where you are value soup and I'm built around like very specific high threat permanents. So protection's really great for me. And then for you, it's a lot less of a need because like, oh, my shielder got blown up. Anyway, I'm going to play like 6 other creatures, right?
For some decks, not necessarily all. I have kind of a range of decks.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm just saying in general, like you're not liking a protection. I typically think of you as like a mid-range player.
Yeah. My decks are a little more mid-range.
Yeah. Oh, also, you just can't sleep on silence. Silence is just one of the strongest effects in EDH, in my opinion. Like a nice, good Grand Abolish your creature.
I feel like red actually is one of the weaker supporting colors because it doesn't offer enchantment removal, which means when you pair it with other colors that also miss out on enchantment removal, it doesn't like add as much. And then I agree it can give haste, but the thing is, we just talked about Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots, right? which are already like reasonable haste enablers. So good as haste enablers that even red decks would still sometimes want them, even if you want haste. So I don't know. I think red is actually the weakest splash color.
I have beef with this.
Yeah, me too. Actually, for me too, yeah.
Here's my issue. Whenever people talk about like what's the best color, they always say red is the worst because it has the worst removal. And sure, if you're playing monocolored, but if you're splashing a color, you're not splashing just for removal. You're splashing for things that make your primary game plan a little better.
Yeah.
And that can easily be like a damage amplifier or, you know, a haste enabler on a land. Like the boot equipments are good, but it's like 2 cards. And you might not even want them over some of what red has to offer. Also, I have a red-black deck. It can literally destroy enchantments just fine. Like it's
Yeah, I need to back this up because every other color blows up enchantments perfectly fine. So if you're pairing red with any other color, you already have the access to blow up enchantments. Like the worst one added is black, and even still, you have Withering Torment, you have Feed the Swarm.
maybe blue, I guess. Like blue, red.
Blue, but blue bounces.
Blue has counter spells, so
Yeah, blue counter spells and bounces, and then white and green. I mean, we don't even have to talk about those. They literally just blow up enchantments all day. That's their favorite thing to do. Looking at red and going, oh, there's no enchantment removal, and red is a splash color. It's like, well, your primary color has the enchantment removal, so it doesn't even really matter.
Sell me on red. What are these amplifiers that I want that I'm adding?
Arena of Glory. Arena of Glory is so strong. That card's evil.
Okay, Arena of Glory. That's like it's all right. A little haste enabler, I guess.
And even like the damage amplifier effects can be quite nice. Red is very good at letting you kind of turn a corner and like, you know, amplify your game plan to the point where it smushes your opponents.
Sure, damage doublers. I guess that is something specific red does that other colors really don't do.
And I just appreciate the filtering a lot, especially if I'm in a color that is less high on like small incremental draw. Like if I'm in green, I think being able to have kind of a lot more incremental draw is nice because a lot of green's draw is like either it draws a billion cards or it's like something else. So I think same with white. I think getting red in a white deck gives you access to a whole lot more kind of filtering to find your more critical cards.
The reach red gives you is also just absolutely insane, right? Like flings and stuff. Like that's what I think about when I think of red sometimes. Like just like
yeah, but that's so niche. Like if you're not a flinging deck, you're not gonna. It's not like blue where it's like, oh, when I'm splashing a blue, I get access to like counterspell, like incredibly flexible removal and stack interaction that I don't have normally. This is like I can fling if I'm a fling deck, but like
fling's just one example of what reach can look like though. There's a lot of ways to burn out opponents with red beyond just that. But that's like the main thing I think of is like, oh, I'm a giant creature deck in like black or green or even white sometimes. And then, you know, you just have like a fling sitting around like a Kazul's Fury in the mana base. You just like kill someone. Also, treasure's just stupid broken, and there's just so many treasured red cards.
I'm kind of interested in what the audience interpretation of this will be. Like, how much is, because I feel like for me, a lot of my 2-color decks. If I look at my decks right now, I have like 2-color decks, and a lot of them splash red because I think splashing red gives me the like least amount of options, and I kind of like the restriction. So I splash red a lot. Like just personally, because I think it's the worst one.
Red because it's bad.
Yeah, because it feels like it has the most restrictions. Like I never want to splash green because I'm like, it's like easy baby mode, you know.
I mean, it's easy baby mode if you make it easy baby mode. Like
I know
you're the one building your deck.
I know my meet and endless has so many restrictions in it. All weekend because I was playing that deck a bunch because I like modified it. All weekend, people were going like, do you have a haste enabler in there? Can't you like kill the whole table? It's like, no, there's no haste enabler. Like I am very much slowing this deck down like intentionally. I have to like really roll it back.
I mean, when I played against it, it was still running like a bajillion like $70 power permanents or whatever. So like, I don't know, maybe that's...
I don't know. It has railgunned me pretty thoroughly with fucking Borborygmos and stuff. That's
once you get to like the 30 mana mark, like, you know, you'll get there. But like the deck could kill way faster with haste enablers just because of the zombies.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like I always feel like I have to do that if I have green in the deck, is I have to like add additional restrictions to like tone the deck down and like weaken it and slow it down by multiple turns by adding these restrictions. I never feel that way about red.
When you're playing the commander format, of course, you know, you're not building EDH every game, right?
My Flage deck is I don't have to add any additional restrictions to that. I'm trying to make it reasonably strong, and it's like it's bracket 2.
No, I get that. Yeah, so Flage is like a very like odd choice for a commander. I respect it a lot, but it's definitely a super low to the ground.
I just built it and was testing it out yesterday actually.
Okay.
And honestly, the deck is pretty sweet. It's actually really fun. I'll send you the deck list. I'm curious what you guys
Are you
think.
doing like the Hushbringer stuff or anything? Or it's not, changing topic, yes. Hang on.
Oh, I mean, no, I'm not doing the Hushbringer thing. It's bracket 2. It's like there's no real like stacks pieces or anything in there. I guess that's another restriction. But that's why white is so powerful, is you have all the stacks cards.
Yeah, white's awesome.
Like even beyond MLD, white is powerful. Okay. I mentioned it there briefly as to what my favorite color to splash is, which is red, because I feel like it's not very good. What is your favorite color to splash? Like when you're constructing a deck, what color are you like, ooh, I really wish I had this because it'd be so sweet to add these fun cards to it?
Black, probably. All of my decks, one of my decks is like dominant color black, but the rest are other color splash black or other two colors splash black, just because I just love a whole bunch of black cards, and I love the sorts of options it opens up. I have Dark Confidant effects in multiple decks. I love to be able to slam that down on turn 2 or turn 3.
Yeah, I think I do end up on green. I do splash white a lot, but I end up building a lot of main color white decks, it feels like, as opposed to like it being a splash color. And I still do think it's one of the best splash colors. But I'm typically on green a lot just because like when I think of my decks, it's like Kinesis is splash green, primary blue, and then Kellen is primary white, splash green. And both of these decks are just like so heavy in on creatures. I just fucking love creatures so much. So of course I'm going to end up splashing the creature color like in most of my decks for things like Eladamri or some of the bigger Krakens like Famished World Sire or Komas, right, in the Sea Monster deck. So I don't know. And plus it's nice in the Sea Monster deck to have that ramp B plan. Like that's the only place I actually end up using green as a splash color for ramp, just in case Kinesis gets answered.
Okay, we'll say having ramp as a backup plan is like really nice for green.
It kind of is.
I have my mono green dragon deck, and honestly the only reason that shit hangs at all in bracket 3 is that if my commander gets shut down, I can literally just like ramp for a while with like repeatable ramp permanents, and then eventually, do shit when I'm at 20 or more mana or 15 or more mana. Scanos. This was like a 7 deck commander pairing. It's Scanos, Hardy Outlander. The command zone is kind of cheesy Voltron, but then the deck is like a little more mid-rangey.
But yeah, I just love the play pattern that green can kind of give there, where it's just like, oh, I have an interesting commander, and if you remove him, we are going to turn on the boring green switch and I'm just going to ramp and kill you.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to play the interesting, funny game that my commander does? That's fine. I'll kill you this way instead.
Or it can even just like get you some mana to like pay command attacks and be afford to do something after that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Here's another question. Does your answer change if we're talking about 3 colors? Like, do you have one that you think is the most flexible as a legitimate splash color? Like it is a much smaller portion of the deck, not just like there's a primary, secondary, but like it's a really small splash because you're 3 colors focused on 2.
Yeah, thing.
I'm also thinking about that.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to answer. It's probably blue, right? There's just so many glue cards in blue where you just like have these stock ups and little like offer you can't refuses and swan songs and stuff.
Yeah, but blue's filtering game is insane. I would definitely happily literally just run like a handful of filtering cards, a handful of counter spells, call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. And in that case, I don't really picture that as like being a majority part of the game plan. It's just kind of the glue that binds like an otherwise like, red-white deck together in like Jeskai or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is very easy to splash blue in that sense. Play, like you said, offer a you can't refuse or whatever, like the cheap counter spells to just protect your game plan, and then blue not be like a main part of the deck.
Yeah, there's just so many blue cards that are like single blue pip too, which I think is something we really need to talk about, like the mana cost of these cards. Blue just has so many like stock up, 2 and a blue. Okay, great. I just looked, I filtered like the top 5 of my library, got 2 of them, stuff like that. And then it's just like, when I think of like really exorbitant costs though, it's like black would probably be a really bad splash color sometimes because like there's all these black cards that are like, oh, you need 2 black to cast this one, pal. Sorry, you're not devoted enough here.
Well,
So
actually, it's interesting because I feel like red, I want to say, would be a good splash color because of haste. But actually, I think like the 2 best haste enablers kind of want you to be heavier in red, like Anger and Arena of Glory. Anger especially really wants you to run more mountains. And it is useless if you're running it as like a single, 5-card splash.
A red might be the best small splash color because some of the there are random red cards that are some of the most powerful in the game, right? If you're like, okay, here's my Deflecting Swat, Jeska's Will, Underworld Breach, right? If you're running like just those as like combo extenders or something and it's not a main part of your game plan, then maybe red's actually the most powerful tertiary color.
To be fair about Jessica's Will, it does only make red mana, so it does kind of want you to be deeper in red for that one. But like the other cards, I agree with for sure.
Well, yeah, well, I was thinking of it in like a combo context with like Underworld Breach.
Well, also like I feel like treasures kind of encourage you to run more red and like smaller splashes of other colors, just because as long as you can get the treasures online with your professional face break or whatever, then you can fix to your smaller colors. So I'm gonna stick with that. I think red's kind of a bad third color, but also like at that.
No, professional facebreaker is a single red pip. That's so easy, and then it fixes for the rest of your stuff. You can cast non-red spells with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you're in 3-color and it's like a very small splash, I might be running a very small number of basic lands or a very small number of lands for it, and then at that point, maybe I'm building more budget than you. If I have a very small splash, I would prefer the cards in it not be necessary until like turn 5.
Sure.
I still think I'm very in on blue, but I still think white actually holds like a pretty good torch when it comes to like a 3-color splash too. Just because you get like, Voice of Victory, you get Ephemerate, which is like an insane card.
Okay, the flicker stuff is definitely really good in white, so I could see that.
Like I could totally envision a flicker deck that's like primary black red or something, and then like you have like Ephemerate, Felia, like a few other like flicker spells kicking around in white, and then that's the only thing white's doing.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to go back to something you just said there, Alex, like a minute ago. That was like, you can be primary red and then use the treasures to splash for other colors. Now that I think about that, that's literally my CDH deck, because it's like 80% red. And oftentimes I'm just using the treasures from like a Stormkiln artist to hit the double blue to cast like the 1 blue spell during my storm turn. Yeah. So actually maybe there is something to that.
There's cards like Big Score that I used to be really down on. And I still am for like a generic use case. Big Score, by the way, is as an additional cost, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and then create 2 treasure tokens. It's a 4-mana instant in red. But in Storm decks, this is actually broken as fuck, because you can use the treasures to filter for your other Storm spells, which is really strong, especially since most rituals just make red mana. So I've actually really liked this card in that context for that exact reason, Con.
Yeah. Big Score is, because Unexpected Windfall being double red makes it so a little bit harder to splash, but Big Score, man, that single red is so nice to just splash into like multicolor decks.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
Do we have anything else to talk about on this topic?
Do we ask the same question, but for 4 colors?
No. Honestly, if anything, I feel like 3 colors is too close to color soup to already.
This guy hates multicolor decks.
I do. I love 2-color decks. They're so good. Even my Sharoom deck is like basically just a blue deck with a little bit of white and black.
A lot of blue decks end up being like that.
I do like 3 or greater colors in Commander, but the joke is that you need to have some sort of stipulation on it. Like Cormella is 3 colors, but she's big spells 3 colors, right? And I don't know, it doesn't work as well for me like for like creature types. Like if you built like Saskia warriors or soldiers or whatever, right? Humans. Like that would be like a little bit whatever to me, but like the Niv Mizzets are a really good example of this, where it's like it is 5 colors, but it cares specifically about 2-color cards. Like those are, I like those designs a lot for like multicolor, like 4+ color designs.
Definitely. Man, I wonder if we'll get like another companion-esque thing that encourages you to have a deck restriction. I feel like there's really a good mechanism for like that, like there is in like collectible card games.
Like
you can't have
like a background, but you can't play this background unless you have 50 subtypes or whatever.
Yeah,
they were considering a new companion mechanic like that for Lorwyn, and then they cut it because they're like, we shouldn't do companion again.
Yeah, I think you could theoretically do it in a commander set. Like if you just have a card that says this can't be your commander unless your deck does this, then I think that works, because it just has to be a thing that is in a zone outside the game that people can see.
Yeah.
I just want my Reno Jackson.
Every deck's Reno Jackson. It's all singleton all the time.
That's so true. Wizards unban Reno, free my boy.
All right, moving on to the Beseech the Mirror section. This is where you beseech us for answers. All you got to do is put mirror, mirror in front of your question, and we'll get to it maybe on the podcast. Thuxma on Spotify asks, Mirror, mirror, I give everyone a 4/3 salamander at my end step to beseech thee. How do you feel about deck ranking websites like Commander Salt? My pod used to use it as a baseline and then playtest to see where the decks actually feel /bracket should be. That was Commander Salt. You guys know what this is?
Yeah.
It gives you a salt score for your deck or whatever. I'm pretty confident.
No, it just tries to tell you like how like fast your deck is, sort of thing, right? Power levels, bracket, saltiness grade, win condition. It does a bunch of stuff. It's not just salt.
It points out your combos and stuff and whatever. I don't know. The salt scores are crowdsourced by EDH players, and I just have a question for anyone who uses like an EDH rec only deck building style or goes to Commander Salt like this to look at the salt scores. Do you trust the average Commander player to accurately rate these things? Like, legitimately, I don't. I think an average Commander player is not that good at the game, and I don't really trust their opinion on anything.
Salt is a very objective metric. The question isn't whether they're correct about how salty a card makes them. The question is whether you agree with their feelings.
I don't know if salt's an objective measure because like everyone has a different opinion on each card, right?
Well, I'm just saying everybody is objectively correct about how they feel about a card.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
That so far is correct, but like also like
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, this is like bracket level this, or like, oh, I'm gonna run these cards in your deck, and it's like, no, I don't trust these people. They aren't good at the game. They don't know what I like, you know? There's like a lot of things that factor on that make the wisdom of the crowd not really work in Commander, in my opinion.
I mean, it works for knowing the wisdom of the crowd. Like this was the whole thing with like the what combos or what belong in what bracket. Like that's not that's not necessarily trying to be a prescriptive tool, I would say. That's just, letting players get a barometer for how other people feel about a given combo. That's what it's trying to do. And it succeeds at that. Whether or not that's useful to you, obviously we're all playing in different places with different people, so it may or may not be helpful. But I think
I just warn against these tools becoming a prescriptive.
I totally agree. I think these websites are fun as like a thing to toy around with and see what's going on with them. If you're looking for kind of arranging decks at the correct power level, I think you're going to be better off just like,
talking like people.
Playing a game, seeing how it went. I think that's going to be a much better method for you. But
I don't get what's all these nerds trying to replace communication. Why would they do such thing?
It's like the problem is like a lot of these websites are trying to, they're putting your deck on a line of, CDH at the far end and then like, pile of basic lands at the other end. But the problem is, even if you can like vaguely tell where you are on that, what is that relative to the distance between, your deck and your opponent's deck in power level? Like that's the actual thing that matters though, right? So I don't know. It's like, how does your deck fit within the context of the table is different.
This is definitely this. I could see myself making one of these sort of tools if I was like not a YouTuber and just happened to get like really, really into Commander and data bullshit. Like I could see it took.
There are useful aspects to many of these tools.
They're super fun to play with, and they sometimes tell you about combos in your deck that you just didn't even think about. You're like, I was just running both these cards as good, but they actually combo with each other. Like that is definitely a use case for it. But like, be careful. Make sure you're using tools correctly. Don't use tools wrong.
Use them for fun only, I would say.
Oh, this is funny. This question was like, what if there's a new partner kind of thing called like Sidekick or whatever? Just talking about what you were mentioning, like another restrictive, second thing in the command zone. That's kind of funny.
Well, they've been doing a bunch of partner dash stuff.
Yeah.
Survivors. I can only partner with Joel.
Friends forever or whatever. Okay, this is an interesting question. Dirk Hoffman on Spotify asks, Mirror, Mirror, I copy my Go Shintai of Lost Wisdom with Irenicus's Vile Duplication to ask, have you ever built or seen any interesting shrine decks? Is there a way to make them interesting in Wooburg?
Watch Joey's newest video, EDH Recast. They literally just did a video about their Hey Bye deck, which is all wastes. It's a 5-color shrines deck that is mono white, and it only has wastes in it. That's the only land in it. So they have to you have to filter into green and then get Hey Bye out. And then you have to start filtering into white and then get all of your white enchantment stuff going. And then you can start tutoring up all your stupid shrines and stuff. It's really an interesting list. And it's also like a flavor win because like Hey Bye is all about protecting nature. So like, oh, my entire, world has all been turned to waste. I need to replenish it. It's like, it's a really cool video. I liked it a lot. It's talking about a lot about this in specific as well. Just like powering down a deck in unique and interesting ways.
That seems like a good answer to the question. I don't know that I have anything to offer the shrine enjoyers.
Yeah, I think with shrines, you got to get really quirky with it like that. So I built a shrine deck before they actually supported shrines. Like back when they were just like the original Kamigawa shrines, I had a shrine deck. And it sucked, but it was fun because you really had to like you put your enchantress plan together and like work hard to like get the shrines in play and actually make use of them. But there comes a point with a lot of these archetypes, and I feel like this might be a video I'll eventually make. There comes a point where they've supported an archetype to the point of it being almost a precon, if that makes any sense. Like if you put all the shrines in your deck and then all the shrine support cards, you have like a third of your deck, and then you add the lands and then whatever your removal package is, and you're like, you have a deck. It's kind of a precon. You're sort of done. So I feel like you're doing what Joey did and like adding some sort of like restriction, extra hoop to jump through is like how you spice it up.
I'm trying to think if I have anything to add to that.
Yeah. I actually do want to make a video about that. Because I think it's kind of interesting, certain like over support archetypes.
I mean, I think they're over supported to our taste, but
yes, not over supported in the sense that
I know you mean though.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah, no, exactly. It makes it a lot less of a creative venture, and it's a lot easier to build, which is not necessarily an issue for a lot of people. But for someone who's like us, who likes to find weird niche synergies and make shit work, being a stupid hipster, as people like to say online, it makes it a lot less appealing when the deck is kind of really easy to construct. It's probably fun to play, and it's easy. It has a lower or a higher floor to build than an average deck. But like, I don't know, like it's not interesting to us because we're really nerdy deck builders that like to do weird shit.
Yeah, I also don't generally play like cleanly within a synergy family. Typically, like I feel like I'm usually, mishmashing some different things. So I don't think I ever really feel like any one thing is over supported, I guess, just because I'm not trying to build solely one thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, next question. Oddly Specific Squid on YouTube asks, Mirror Mirror is a card like Overburden considered mass land denial in bracket 3, or is it just a stacks card some decks will struggle to deal with? Should I count it as a game changer if I play primarily with randos?
I wouldn't play it in bracket 2, but in bracket 3.
Let me read Overburden for the audience, by the way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't know this card. It is blue and 1 for an enchantment. Whenever a player puts a non-token creature onto the battlefield, that player returns a land they control to their owner's hand.
What weird wording.
Yes. It is a weirdly worded card, and that is the Oracle text that I read specifically. So that is the official text. It's kind of it's a neat card because you can break parity with it in a couple ways. You can just play not creatures, but it also doesn't affect tokens, so you can play it in a token deck. Make 50 dudes and then not have to bounce any lands. You can flicker your opponent's creatures to make them bounce lands.
To me, I think I would probably I would run this in bracket 3, but rule 0 it, right? Like mention it whenever you're getting into a game. Like that's what I do with my Malfagor deck. It's a discard deck. Is discard appropriate for bracket 3? I'll talk about it in rule 0. It's kind of on the line. I think Overburden is kind of on the line in the same way.
Yeah, I agree. I've played with Overburden in the past, and this card is really strong. At 2 mana, the ability to get it down really early and just completely wall so many players, I think makes it a card I would maybe mention. I feel like this is another card that could be a game changer, but isn't because nobody's seen the card in 80 years.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of cards like that. All sorts of nasty fucking cards printed in, 1999 or whatever that if people...
Yeah, this is only from Prophecy.
If people played a lot of it, people would, you'd want to game changer it, but people don't, so you don't. I think same with Bottomless Pit, I think is another one like that.
Yeah. Any thoughts on it?
No, I don't think.
Cool. Moving on to the next question. Blank Exodus asks, Mirror Mirror, I plainly ask you, what are your favorite colors in real life?
Okay, you could go first.
I'm a fuchsia enjoyer. Fuchsia or magenta.
Fuchsia?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Dude, my phone case is the most saturated ass magenta you've ever seen in your life. I like the color.
Can you put a picture of it in the group chat with Yusuf so you can put an image on screen?
Yeah, I can take it off my phone and take a picture of just the case. I can take a selfie. Here, I'll take a mirror selfie, and that's what you can.
There we go.
That's what you can do.
Fuchsia's a kind of a banger answer.
Yeah, well, magenta would be the more well-known one, but Fuchsia's like a
Yeah.
little darker, a little bit less like. Actually, I don't even know if it's. I think of Fuchsia as being slightly like darker, slightly grayer than magenta, but that may or may not be true.
I feel like my wardrobe is all black and green. I'm wearing green right now.
My favorite color is definitely yellow.
I'm pissed.
Yeah, it's cool. I like a slightly more orange yellow though. It's like a sunburst yellow, I think it's called. It's like kind of yellowish orange and like kind of bright. That's like where I love to live in terms of like, I don't know, my favorite color.
Yeah. Plasma Junkie asks, Mirror Mirror, have any of you employed ChatGPT to help you refine your decks? I found it can help with identifying, sorry, this is them. This is not me. Don't quote me. I found it can help with identifying deck construction patterns or habits you might not be aware of. For example, ChatGPT critiqued my deck building, criticizing me for card choices that helped me not lose rather than actually progress and win games. Okay, sorry.
I've had someone send in a ChatGPT mana base to my stream one time, and it was probably the worst mana base I've ever seen.
That's so epic.
It was legitimately just like one of the worst things I've ever seen in my entire life. So I don't trust anything that comes out of that lie machine, mostly because it's just regurgitating like forums it scraped from like the 2000s. Right? Like,
which is written by people who also couldn't make good mana bases.
Have you tried maybe posting on these forums perchance? Like, I don't know. It's like you can like post and there's plenty of Discords out there that are all about Magic. There's plenty of subreddits or even like, you know, whatever. I'd post my deck on 4chan before I posted it to ChatGPT. I'm going to be honest.
Do the 4chan people have good mana base critique?
Honest to God, I've gotten some really good advice from TG, but like I've never actually like I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them generally.
Okay, what platform is the most helpful advice wise?
Jeez, probably just like friend groups, Discords. Like if you have like a
yeah,
definitely. Because like also your friend group is able to like help you like. They'll give you suggestions that are like in the wheelhouse of your play group's power. So if it's like regular people you're playing with the game store, that's who I would ask first. Honestly, that's like the best source of info.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because they know what you like the best too. They're all people that know you. And Commander's like really just such a personality game.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, talking with like individual people in real life about your stuff is kind of fun because everybody has their own biases. But if they're an experienced Commander player, the advice probably isn't going to be like strictly bad. It just might be interesting and reflect somebody's own kind of experiences and ingrained biases a little bit. I have not used ChatGPT on any of my decks. Clearly I should. Maybe that's the secret. That's how I need to really make a successful aggro deck.
I also have not done this because it's not like particularly useful. This isn't like a thing that LLMs are for.
Language learning models are just they're meant to sound like speaking people. That's the entire point. Is they're supposed to have natural communication, which involves a lot of yes manning.
Yeah, and then it's also again the quality of the data going in is relevant as well. And again, if it's just reading like crap forum, spouted by people who also don't know how to build decks, like, it's not going to do anything. It's like somewhat recently there was the first like AI that could beat poker players, like pro poker players, and it is none of the LLMs. It is like a crappy model with like 6 parameters that you can run on a laptop. It is almost always better to have like a program that is specific to a thing, and things like ChatGPT that are general is not going to work very well because it's not specific enough to Magic. Like it would just work worse than other AIs, which are already worse than people.
It's also just impossible to control, right? Like, because the way they program it, you can't see the air quotes I'm doing, but the way they program it is they like say like, you are not allowed to do this anymore. Do you understand? And then the robot goes, okay. It sucks. You can't control it at all.
That's why like smaller models like can actually do stuff because you can actually like put parameters and then like it locks it out of stuff. I think it's actually really interesting how like bad some of these larger models are compared to smaller models at different things.
Okay, Alex, how many off-color cards did they tell you to put in your Commander deck?
No, they refine these models a bit. So it's telling me I need to cut the Pillow Fort cards from my Lysa deck, but it also thinks Aura of Silence is a Pillow Fort card, so I think it's getting a little confused there. It really likes Wound Reflection and wants me to add Bloodletter of Aclazotz, which is probably fair. It also wants me to pivot into Life Gain and run all the Life Gain payoffs, which is...
But
Shroom Slide life gain.
No.
Why?
This is for,
What?
this is for,
No, this is for Leesa.
Yes, sir.
Leesa, okay.
But Bloodletter doesn't work with the commander because it's only if your
Yeah.
opponent would lose life during your turn.
During your turn. Well, that's the other thing is this thing doesn't read the cards. It just like knows card names because it's been like eating forums online and scraping them, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's at least correct to like Wound Reflection because that card slaps.
The forum user it learned liking Wound Reflection from is probably like over the moon right now.
Yeah, I
For certain.
know. Dude, I had a game at MagicCon Vegas at the LobbyCon where it was a 6-player game. I landed Liesa and then Wound Reflection. The game was 45 minutes. This 6-player game. It was so
That's
good.
a 6-player game. Good lord.
Yeah.
Never catch me doing that.
Yeah, this is roughly what I was expecting. It's like fine advice, but not great.
I mean, yeah, because the average advice given on the internet is like fine, but not great. And then that's what it reads and regurgitates.
Yeah.
Like I posted my Is It deck not too long ago, and I've had so many people say, oh, Twin Cast and Reverberate are non-bows in Joy Rian. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a copy spell. I play spell 1 and I copy it with spell 2. Like, what is the that's not what a non-bow is.
Yeah. Oh, it wants me to add hatred to the deck. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, of course. Naturally.
It's a lifelink commander. Like it sort of makes sense, but that's funny.
Anyway, let's move on before we get depressed.
Let's do it.
I mean, it's not very useful. Violent Visions 98 asks, Mirror Mirror, I use Quicken to cast Ultima to say, what do you think is the most fun monocolor to build for? And what monocolor decks would you like to see more support for?
If I had to pick one, it would be white. If I had to only do one monocolor for the rest of the time. I really enjoy the versatility of white's removal and the slowing down Pillow Fort Staxy nature of it. I love tokens. So you can go like tokens, you can go flicker, you can go prison. There's like all these hate bears. There's all these different like directions for white to go that is very creature heavy. I think white interacts with creatures in a way that I enjoy a lot more than green. So that's why I'd definitely lean more white there. But I would have to give an honorable mention to mono black, because not only is it a lot of fun to like do drain, reanimator, all these like discard, all these stupid little strategies, but it's also just the most aesthetically pleasing monocolor, full stop. Because a lot of art for black is like these like deep, rich purples and dark darks. And that comboed with like the card frame, it just makes every mono black deck look so fucking hard.
Yeah.
And also just all the black pips on all these cards, right? Because they're all like covered in like 3 or more black pips, mono black cards. It's just like, yeah, it looks really cool. The aesthetics of a mono black deck just can't be beat.
I'm probably mono red or mono green, honestly. Like the others just have not caught my interest. Okay, I guess I was a mono black player back in the day, but it has not caught my interest recently. I think there is some decent stuff in mono black, but I've been really digging my mono green deck. I think it's fun. It's stupid. As long as you're venturing outside like the most conventional rampy landfall build on the face of the earth, I think mono green could be a lot of fun.
Con, you have to be blue, right?
Feel like no. Don't get me wrong. I love blue. I love mono blue, but it's mono red because it's just so dog shit. Like it's just so bad. There's so many like old bad commanders too. You get like no like real removal or like card advantage. And I love that. I love building like red control piles because they're usually so convoluted for the value engines to work. Oh, it's awesome. It's just like building a Rube Goldberg machine.
I love that this is the second I love mono red because it sucks ass comment we've gotten from you in this pod.
I love mono red. It's so bad.
No, mono red is a lot of fun.
Yeah. My most recently built deck was mono red.
Oh yeah, how is that deck? How's it been?
Jaxus is relatively fun. Yeah, I've been having a good time with her.
I haven't seen you play it
I
yet.
don't think it's going to be the final home for these cards. I'm definitely feeling the bumps a little bit with this one, but it's going to keep my interest for a while, which is definitely a hallmark of like at least a 7 out of 10 list from the Elk.
That's good.
So I'm enjoying my time. Maybe it'll grow on me.
Yeah. The green dragon deck has lasted me longer than I've expected. I expected to get bored of it much faster, but it's been like kind of fun.
Okay, bye.